In the morning sun, sitting in the morning sun, always sitting in the evening come, watching the ships roll in, then I watch them roll away.
All right, folks, welcome to the show. It is the Crack House Podcast. My name is Michael Sullivan. Joining me in everything Crack House-ish or whatever you want to call it. My man Chris Muscalino. What's up, dude?
Happy birthday, Michael.
Oh,
Big
thank you.
5-0, man. For all the
Yeah.
crackheads out there, Mike has reached status, legendary status, the big 5-0. How was it, man?
Doesn't feel any different. And I can't wait to get my AARP card. I think that's you gotta be 50 for it. So
You look good,
uh
bro, for 50, you know?
eh, I'll take it. I'll
You
take
know?
it.
Yeah, I just feel like, I feel like when we were kids, like people who were 50, like they just markedly look different than people today.
Yeah,
Maybe
but
maybe I'm just
uh
biased and shit.
no, there is a difference when you look at older pictures. But I mean, too, it's like a lot of
People
people
live
too, man. The life, yeah, it was a harder life,
out
man,
of life, right?
dude. I mean, people started drinking and smoking at like 12 years old, and fucking just
Even
they just went balls to the wall till they had a massive heart attack at like 60 and died. That's, I
even my
mean,
wife, man, she's like, she's over 50 at this point. She looks markedly younger. Women out there, I mean, there's some 50 years old. We had to get together with a whole bunch of Mac guys like yesterday or
yeah. Sorry, I
yesterday.
missed it. I'm sorry I missed it, boys. I will make the next one.
It
Had
was
a
very
little,
good. We ran into Gary and Matt and Pat and John. It was a good time. But we were talking about, even the people that we went to school with, like some of these people look fantastic, man. I mean, kudos to them. There's one woman we went to school with, just had a baby at 49 years old. She looks phenomenal. I mean,
yeah.
just
That's crazy, man. Like, God bless her. Yeah, we both know her, and yeah, she just had a kid. 49 years old, having a kid.
looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Most of the people that we went to school with, like I'm on Facebook and stuff. We were talking about them, look phenomenal, and it's just like it's markedly different. Like I feel good in my body. I feel good in my brain, Mike. I'm trying to lose weight, and I think that's a big thing too. When you're heavy, or even overweight for your size, your body's it weighs on you. But
Well,
you know,
yeah, that's like a bit. Think about it. That, like, our parents' generation, they weren't going to a gym 4 days a week.
no,
Those people, it
no
was
way.
just you got up, you worked, you drank coffee, you smoked cigarettes, and you drank on the weekends, or some people every day, depending. And that was it. Like we said, it was a much hard. Those people lived a hard life. Think about their breakfast every day. It was
Yeah.
probably bacon and eggs, bacon, egg, and cheese. Like that lifestyle your whole life. I mean, that's why so many of those, like, friends of our dads and stuff, you'd hear like, oh yeah, the guy caught a heart attack at 55 years old. And then you see the life they led, and you're like, oh
Right.
yeah, I get it, man.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right, Mike. Just crazy. I mean, there were a couple people from my parents' generation, people in our family. I remember this one woman, my uncle's wife's mother. She looked fantastic in her 50s. And she was about, obviously she's our parents' age now when she passed away, but up until the very end, she was a very attractive woman. Kept up very well with herself. But like you said, I mean, I just feel like, that was kind of reserved for like really wealthy people, not like middle
Yeah.
class or lower middle class people,
Did your
you know?
mother ever feed you kale?
No,
No.
which I still don't understand. Like, we got a guy down the block, a very, very nice guy. He comes from a very wealthy family, but he swears by organic stuff. He has kale all the time. We go back and forth. Another buddy of mine, Fred, we go back and forth with him about the benefits of like organic food, which I kind of, me and Fred kind of think it's a scam, but he swears by it. It's like he's got the kale, he's got the organic spinach and all that other crap. And you go into the supermarket, which is a whole different story. And it's like, okay, buy the regular spinach for $1.99, or spend $5,
Uh,
for the super spin.
yeah. Yeah. It's, total different diet, total different regime, Did you ever eat egg whites for breakfast as a kid? It's like that whole kind of thing.
Not as a kid, but I tell you what,
No, when you were working out and you're in
when I was
college,
working out, when I was in
completely.
college, I definitely
But
did it.
8 years old, you weren't getting an egg
No,
white kale omelet was not
no,
going on in the
no
Muscolino
way,
or
no way.
O'Sullivan household. It was scrambled eggs, bacon, and sausage with some heavily buttered toast or some fruity pebble cereal that was just pure sugar and
I
whole
rem-
milk.
I
Yeah, that's
remember.
another thing. Did you ever buy 2% milk really as a kid? Like all of that shit. All of that stuff, like we laugh at it now. We're laughing at it, but that's the way most people are living now.
Yeah, you're right. Do you
Everyone
incorporate this kind of stuff like in the comedy shows, Mike?
a little bit
Yeah.
like healthy living and things like that. But let's put it this way: everyone, next time you go in New York City, next time you're in this city, look around and see how many people got green drinks in their hands.
Yeah.
That's all everyone did. They just walk around with green drinks in Manhattan all day. That's what everyone does, and they go to Equinox Gym, and they go do Pilates and they go work out. Like I said, our parents' generation did none of that.
Traveling across the country, I was in the Carolinas for my niece's graduation last week, and you see people in the South. In the South, it's a little bit different. Like I see a lot heavier people down south. I've been to California, Southern California, and it's like the opposite. Like you said, you walk around. Granted, it was maybe about 15 years since I've been in Southern California, but the thing that struck me was like the amount of people out there that like were in the older people, without their shirts on, roller skating and shit, like Three's Company and stuff, looking phenomenal, man. I mean,
Yeah, but yeah, you gotta realize too, man. It's a beach culture out there.
yeah.
It's gorgeous every day out there. So you want to look good. I mean, I bet if you go to Florida, it's almost the same thing.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, it's funny with Florida. Florida, I've seen like heavy people, like maybe it's because it's Disney World and stuff, but
Yeah.
but yeah, the other spots that I've been to, Boca, I've been to Jacksonville, I've been to Tampa. Yeah, you're probably right. Really, I just think it really depends where you go in Florida, as far as
Is it Texas has the biggest people? I think San Antonio.
I've been to San Antonio, beautiful, man.
I heard there's some big
Big people, big
big
people.
big beautiful women down there and big beautiful men.
Did you see the Sports Illustrated thing with the heavy woman or the plus size woman? I thought
Yeah,
it was
I
being
don't see what
politically correct.
they've been doing this for years. Like I
Dude,
don't.
she's listen, you could be plus size, and that's fine all and well, but I'm looking at that, Mike, and it's like, I don't want to be harsh on it. I didn't put anything on Twitter or anything, but it's like, come on, bro. I mean, they're really pushing the limits. I mean, she's attractive in this sense, but like the body is just, I heard something on Rogan a couple weeks ago, like they were talking about like COVID and stuff, and they were like, COVID would have been bad, but it would have been a lot less bad if we didn't have an obesity problem in this country.
Oh, definitely.
The amount of money that we threw at that COVID would have been a fraction of it if people were as obese as we are. And I think I read a statistic, Mike. It was like 40% of the people out there are obese in our country. And listen, I'm 50 years old or close to 50 at this point. It'll be in September for me, but I'm overweight. But granted, I'm 50. I'm talking like
Yeah,
young
but
people.
dude, you're not rascal scooter fat.
No, true.
You're not going to an amusement park and you got to rent a rascal scooter and you are you downing like 80 ounces of cola a day
No,
of
no.
soda? I mean, that was the big thing. They said, people that were diabetic during the pandemic, it really, anyone diabetes, heart disease,
Diabetic, blood pressure, asthma, all that crap.
it kicked your ass. I mean, we've talked about COVID, to death on this show, but yeah, if you're out of shape, any disease is gonna mess you up.
Yeah.
It's like getting lung cancer and being like, I'm gonna go have a cigarette.
Well, that's what Rogan said. I mean, I forgot. Maybe it was Bill Maher who he had on, and they were just talking. They were like, maybe I brought this up on the show before, but it's like, end of the day, it's like, somebody's smoking 4 packs a day. You know, it's
Yeah,
like, yo,
yeah.
Mike, maybe you might want to put the cigarette down. You know, you can get lung cancer. It's not the greatest thing for you. You know, me and you are in McDonald's, right? And we're feasting, and you're 250 or $3 bills, and you know, you're wolfing down Big Macs like they're, they're pieces of, lettuce.
Mm.
You know, if I say anything to you, you know, all of a sudden I'm a bad dude. Well, oh, Chris, hey, listen, don't call Mike fat. Well, Mike's killing himself. That's what Mike's doing. You know, Mike's
Yeah.
250, 300 pounds, and he's woofing down Big Macs like it's no big deal. And you can't say anything. It's, I looked at that Sports Illustrated thing and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I saw some people goofing on her, like on Twitter, and it's like, all right, listen, I get being mean, and we were talking about that with the Mac guys last night. I was a bad little kid, I mean, they were laughing, and even now, like, I was talking to the guys last night, Matt, and who's been on the show and stuff, and we were just goofing, about like, we were talking about the kids, the kids in school and the stuff that we did in school and the stuff that we said, it's like, some of it. Listen, there's a difference between being mean and there's a difference between pointing out real stuff, being real with people. And I think that realness is kind of like, even in comedy, like I had to laugh because I think we've talked about this a lot too on the show, where they were talking about some Netflix people were talking about why haven't there been big comedy movies or big comedy blockbusters in the last 5 years? And we've talked about this. You do it, you do the shows, you've said it. There's shit that you can't say. What did you think was going to happen, as far as like making these comedy movies? We've talked about all these movies that we watched as kids, and it's like a good portion of them
Yeah.
couldn't be made today. And
Oh, exactly.
Part of comedy is just saying shit that's, making observations about people and things. When you start taking those things away, it kind of gets difficult, I mean, what do you see? I mean, like in the stand-up, I mean, we've talked about this a little bit, but I guess you said like some of the younger kids
You
don't really give a
have
shit.
to, yeah, you have to, like, there are some kids that'll just say anything, and there are other
Right.
people that temper what they say. I mean, I don't listen. There are plenty of things I won't joke about.
Right.
Like, I don't think I'd ever make like a trans joke. I would never. I've seen comics who aren't black drop the N-bomb on stage, and I'm just like, wow, I didn't expect that one. And sometimes the person, for the most part, gets heat for it, and he'll either be kicked off a show, kicked out of a building,
And the N word,
I,
listen, I get the N word, I mean, we all dropped it at one point, as kids. I mean, I can tell you as I got older and I ran into, different people, different cultures and stuff. There's a guy I work with, Vladdy, who I mentioned his show at the end. It's like I goofed with him one time. I'm like, yo, can I have permission to say the N word? And he goes, no, man. And then he started laughing at it. He goes, all right, Musk, you can say it. I'm like, nah, I wouldn't say it because, again, you don't want, to me, it's different from saying the N word in front of an African American or somebody, just in general, and just goofing on regular shit. I mean, it's gotten to the point where I just think that, like, even I read this article and I wish I had it so I could show it to you, but it was just ridiculous. Like, these guys were like, really, they were upset that there's been no big comedy blockbusters over the last 5 years. And it's like, really, what did you expect? With the way culture has gone, and society has gone in the last 5 years, especially the last 5 years, why is this a surprise to you?
yeah. I mean, I just look at a movie like, say, like The Hangover 2, where they
Even
had
that, yeah,
where they had
stuff
the
that was made 15 years
but
ago,
they
20
had
years ago.
like a trans stripper in it. I think if you make that movie now, people are gonna get all upset
No,
about it.
absolutely.
I
Absolutely,
mean,
man.
but as far as the N word goes, pretty much all the white comics I know do not use it.
Yeah,
I
you don't
know
say it,
I've
man.
seen a couple of guys use it, and it's
Listen, the
just
guy from the Yankees got in trouble today. Like, I guess there was a brawl with the Yankee game, and I guess this guy Tim Anderson, who plays the shortstop for the White Sox, right? He called himself the new Jackie Robinson, and I guess the Yankee third baseman's kind of a dickhead, and I guess in he's been saying it to the guy for a couple of years, but he said it today. He called him, "Hey Jackie, what's up?" And the guy took it the wrong way to the point where there was almost a brawl. He admitted it afterwards, and he's like, I've been calling this guy Jackie for the last 5 years because I'm goofing on him because he called himself the new Jackie Robinson. Well, the White Sox and La Russa and this guy Tim Anderson, they took it to the point where they took it as a racial insult. To the point where Aaron Hicks, I believe, from the Yankees, is going to sit out tomorrow. He's a social justice guy, and I guess a couple of years ago he knelt, when all this stuff was going down. But again, to me, there's a difference between dropping an N-bomb and calling somebody or joking around with somebody who referred to himself that way.
Oh yeah, that's completely different. 100% completely different.
But it's that mentality, dude, that just, when it comes to comedy, I just think, comedy's in a bad spot. I gotta give you all the credit in the world, for making a skit or making a set and finding stuff that won't get you in trouble, but still will be entertaining. Actually, I gotta be honest with you. I think the comedians today, you gotta be really
but
good.
a lot of people think too, like the pendulum is kind of swinging a little bit back to normalcy. And I've heard people on podcasts like Bill Burr say this, or listen to like the Bonfire. I've heard all the comedians they ever have on, they talk about this too. Like it's probably swinging back. It's gone as far as it can go one way. It's got to come back towards the middle now.
So, yeah, at least the middle. I mean, I don't really ever see it going back to like Dice Clay or Kinnison or
no, but those guys will still be around. You're still gonna have like what they call, like, I guess, cringe comedy. You're still gonna have people that are gonna joke about
and
just joke about like taboo subjects stuff that you wouldn't hear by anyone else, really. So
was Colin considered that?
No, I think he was more like, I mean, I just watched the documentary. I watched it. I finished it up like probably like a couple hours ago, and it just goes, the whole documentary, the George Carlin documentary just came out on HBO. Who did it? Judd Apatow and some other, I forget the other guy's name. Judd Apatow directed it with somebody else. They got all this archival footage from George Carlin's daughter, and they just went through his life. And he grew up, he was a New York kid. He grew up on the Upper West Side on like 121st Street, Morningside Heights. They called it White Harlem back then. And it just went through like all his rebirths. Like he was a straight-laced comic in the 50s and 60s. Then the 60s happened and he got into the whole hippie lifestyle. He grew his hair. That's when he grew the hair out, the beard.
Yeah, right.
He went into that whole thing. Then the 70s was kind of like his counterculture. He starts to fade out in the late 70s. And then by almost the early 80s, his career is almost over. And then he reinvents himself again as almost like this radical. I wouldn't say he was cringe or dirty, or not. Well, he was dirty, but his thing was all about just challenging society and challenging the government. I mean, when you listen to all his stuff, it's pretty much anti-authority. He was a Catholic school kid, so I think he had a
Colin. I thought Colin was Jewish.
No, he was Irish. George Carlin was Irish and went to Catholic school, and a big part of it was him, like, when you listen to his act, his challenging of the church, his challenging of authority, challenging of government. And that's pretty much where it all starts to stem in the late 70s, early 80s, where he's got to reinvent himself again. And that's when he really goes, and I mean, some people want to say anti-establishment. I think it was just him questioning everything.
My wife brings that point up, anti-authority. She goes, and maybe you could attest this. We were talking last night a little bit about the stuff that we did, at Mac back in the day and at McClancy. So me and Mike are products of Catholic school, for the most part. I went to college even at a Catholic college. Most of the guys that we went to grammar school with ended up going to, Catholic school throughout high school. And my wife likes to goof on me, and she's like, you never go to church. You were an altar boy. You went to Catholic school throughout your entire life, but you're not overly religious. And what do you make of that, Mike? Going back like the anti-authority thing. She says that part of my personality, the anti-authority is a result of the Catholic school upbringing that we had.
Well,
do you go to church regularly? I mean,
no. I don't know. I do not know that many people over a certain age that go to church regularly. it's old people that are like, you know,
Ready to kick it. Yeah.
ready to kick it, and they're putting in their money so they can get their ultimate meet and greet when they die. But yeah, I don't know young people that are really into the church. They say Bill Maher is an atheist. He was raised Catholic,
Right.
thing, and he's like super atheist, and he goes into it too about how the numbers are dwindling
Yo, absolutely.
in religion
Absolutely.
every year.
Like, I don't go to church, but like, I'm very leery of atheists. It's like, to me, I have made this comment to atheists. I have family members that, at least one of them, that's an atheist. I have friends, same deal. And listen, I don't expect you to be a holy roller. I don't really know who's right. Like, I consider myself a Catholic, a non-practicing Catholic. But here's the thing that I put out to guys like Ricky Gervais or Barr or any of those guys or family or friends or whoever. It's a 50-50 crapshoot.
That's
So
that's it.
at the end of the day, nobody knows what the hell goes on. So it's either you're dead and you're worm food and it's nothing like before you were born, or there's something. So why not err on the side of something, being optimistic versus, and listen, I get part of what, the mentality in it, in the sense that I think some of it, like you said, going back to, stems from the anti-authority piece. Nobody wants to be dictated to. Nobody wants to follow rules, whatever religion that you are, Muslim, Jewish, Catholic, whatever. But I always subscribe to that, Mike. I'm a numbers guy a little bit. It's a 50-50 shot,
Oh yeah, that's it. You're just playing the odds.
You're playing the odds. And I'd rather take a shot and say, hey, listen, hopefully there's something out there, after you kick it. If not, no big deal. You're worm food. It's like before you were born.
Yep.
But I mean, anyways, what did I want to talk to you about? I saw a trailer for the Sex Pistols miniseries on AMC coming up. Did you catch that?
No, I was gonna YouTube it today, actually.
It's a little bit of like a cartoonish type thing. It's like, characters of them, but I'm pretty interested. I'm a punk guy. I'm wearing my Ramon shirt today.
Wait a minute. Is it a live action thing?
Or live action thing, but like they're complaining like some of these guys, they look more like One Direction than the Sex Pistols. They got they got the poofed hair and stuff. And
I mean, they're gonna zhuzh it up for audiences.
TV. Right.
Now they're gonna get into the whole Sid and Nancy thing.
I'm sure they are. It's a mini series, so I don't know exactly how long it's gonna go, but great time in music, man. 76 to like 83, 84.
Here's the thing, whether it's going to be good or not. Are like Lydon and the rest of the Sex Pistols giving their blessing to this?
I haven't seen,
because if they're not, I'll tell you right now, if they're not associated with it, then it might be okay, because then they'll tell everything. But if they're associated with it,
I don't think they're associated with it, man.
They might be like, we don't want this story being told, and we don't want that.
I don't think they're associated. I think it's kind of like, me writing the biography on
is it like
Strummer,
based,
just like
is it
regular
based
guy.
on a book that they're doing it on, or?
I think it's based on a book. I think it's independent. I'm pretty sure it's on AMC.
Okay.
And it's going to be a mini series. So, I'm definitely into it. I'm big into punk music. I've read a couple reviews of people that have, pre-screened it. So we'll see what comes of it.
I saw you know what I watched? The Kids in the Hall is back.
Oh, really?
On Amazon. I caught the first episode. I think they dropped like 10 episodes. I watched one. It's kind of like the old version, and they're just a little bit older.
You know what I watched the other day, Mike? I think you'll appreciate this.
Was it what channel was it on?
I have it on Apple TV, and I fired it up like 2 a.m, and I was watching it, and it's like, dude, man.
Have you ever seen his documentary?
Sam Jones?
Yeah. There's a Sam Jones documentary it's on Amazon. Dude, it goes, yo, that guy liked to party, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
Sam Jones. Well,
Oh
they
yeah.
alluded to in the movie Ted.
Oh yeah, that's all. It seems like it's all true. Like he's got that definite born again, sober mentality when he's getting interviewed in the stuff. He's super big now on like the Comic-Con circuit, where he's just going around signing autographs, and the the documentary pretty much follows him around, and they're interviewing people that some Hollywood actors, people that were in the movie, and what a great guy he is, and all of this stuff. But yeah, dude, one of the most underrated cool movies. Like when you look back on,
yeah, I agree. Great soundtrack.
that's the other. It goes into the whole soundtrack.
Yeah, the Queen sound. I mean, that was like 81 or 80.
Yeah.
79. Some of the actors, like I'm watching like the cast. It's like Max van Sydow, like the German dude.
And Max van Sydow. Yeah.
There was a couple others that I don't think really ever made anything of himself. The chick, Melody Anderson, kind of disappeared.
Yeah. 007's in it. Timothy
007's in it, right?
The other guy is big on the Comic-Con circuit too. The Hawkman.
Oh,
Gordon.
yeah.
Gordon's alive.
You know who had a decent career? The Archer guy, the Birdman, not the Birdman, the other guys, the guys in the green. Tim Dalton.
I just said that. 007. He was 007.
Yeah, 007, right. Yeah.
They had the guy that played, remember the robot face guy? That was like Ming.
Cletus.
Yeah. They had him on. He was like this old English actor dude. I think he died like right after they made the documentary about him. And dude, that was supposed to be a trilogy of movies.
That would have been phenomenal, man.
It was supposed to piggyback off of like the success of Star Wars and science fiction. This is what the whole documentary is about. He became a douche, Sam Jones.
The
whole movie,
a hell of a drug, Mike.
Yeah, exactly. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. He started believing his own bullshit. They filmed that whole movie in England. Really? And then, they were filming it, I think, during Christmas of like 1979 or 1980. So they take a break during Christmas. So he goes back to America for like 2 weeks and just doesn't come back. Here's the crazy thing. I never knew this either. They film a lot of his scenes with a different actor's voice towards the end of the movie.
Sam Jones?
Yeah, it's not Sam Jones' voice. It's some Canadian actor that he had to like dub the lines because he never came back. He was like, I'm not coming back. I'm done. Let me know. I don't want to do this anymore. They had this whole thing on track.
Did they pay him?
He got paid for the movie and stuff, but I think he wanted more money as the movie went along. Like, this thing's going to be huge. And I think he thought he was going to be like another Christopher Reeve with Superman, like an unknown. And now this
who blows up.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't really remember him doing much after that, Mike.
No, that's why, because his career, he was poison after that. Like once you sign to do a movie and then pull out like that, dude, you're done. Your career's over. Like you cost so much money.
There's a scene, I guess, in Ted with him, where they're doing coke with Wahlberg and Ted, and Ted singing like A-I-O-U and all that shit, and the Chinese guy with the chicken comes in, and maybe Macho, or I'll have to ask him off air, but dude, our fraternity parties were just like that scene. Like I laugh hysterically when I see that scene, to the point where the chaos that happened in our frat house rivaled that. Like just weird stuff. Like I remember a dude coming home and somebody ate his pizza, and next thing you know, he's taking a dumbbell and throwing it through the the whatchamacallit, the wall, to the point where like my brother picked us up the next day and he's like, dude, do you realize there's like a massive hole in your wall, where you guys are living? I go, yeah, the guy got pissed and he threw a dumbbell through the wall. Or like I've told a story where the Egyptian barback came to the house and got drunk. He basically had alcohol poisoning for a week. I've told that story a long time ago on the show. I watched that scene and Mike, I pissed my pants. And it goes back to what you're saying with Sam Jones being on coke and stuff. But
it's called.
What else is going on?
I think it's called Flash. It's on Amazon. Check it out.
Yeah, I got to check that out. Definitely. Whatchamacall, what did I want to ask you about? I saw a couple things this week that I wanted to talk to you a little bit about. I know we're a little bit pressed for time tonight, folks. So, oh, you know what I wanted to mention? We may have a surprise guest. So I was talking to Matt last night, and Matt is going to try to get us one of the New York Yankees on the show.
Not. Oh, what?
Guy.
Oh, you're freezing up. I don't know what you're saying. You're freezing up. Hello. Hey, Chris froze up. But it's are you back? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I got you.
You got me now?
Yeah, you just froze up for like 30 seconds.
Oh, sorry, bro. Sorry, audience.
But all you froze up right on. He's gonna get us one of the New York Yankees.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not going to spoil for you. I can tell you this much: he's not the big guy, DJ, but Matt's going to work on it, and he says there's a good chance that he would come on the show with us.
Steve Balboni,
not Steve Balboni.
Rick Cerrone,
not Dan Pasqua, not Roy Smalley, not Steve Kemp, not Alvaro Mendoza, Espinoza.
Steve Sachs?
No. I'll give you a little bit of hint. He's part of the early 90s dynasty, and he's not a core four guy. He's not like a huge name, but he's big enough that you'll know him. And he got pretty famous for things that, hopefully if we get him on, he'll go into. But,
okay.
There was another guy that we reached out to that I guess saw the episode with Matt. Another very famous guy from Astoria in the wrestling business. I'll throw out his name.
I saw Lenny. Yeah.
If Lenny, if you're watching this, man, we'd love to have you on. We reached out to him. He reached out to us on Facebook. And Lenny's another Matt guy, another Astoria guy that maybe a year or two older than us, but he really enjoyed the thing with Matt. And I think he watched the Vinny Serio thing too. And, Lenny made it, man. Lenny's in the wrestling game. He's an announcer, and we would love to have him on. Shoot the shit, about wrestling and the old neighborhood a little bit. So hopefully we get a couple more guests for the audience over the next couple weeks. On that note, it looks like we've got the countdown here, Mike. So
all right, let's
wrap it up and go into next week. Me and Mike are running into a little bit of difficulties with Zoom. So once we straighten that out, we'll get back up to the regular time, that we do the shows and stuff. So Sal in Italy, don't freak out if you just see one thought,
Sal complained. Oh, it's only a half hour. Sal, sorry. I don't know how to say I'm sorry in Italian.
Come a CDH, Sal.
El Sadio. I'm El Sadio. Sal.
But so before we go into the plugs, Mike, so did you do anything for your 50th? No.
No, pretty much just stayed home. Had that was it. I'm not a big birthday guy to begin with.
Well, we missed you last night. I know you had some family stuff going on.
Yeah, I had family stuff going on at the last minute. I'm sorry I couldn't make it. To everyone listening, to the guys, Matt, John, and
Pat
Gary.
wants a rain. Pat wants a rain check, and his brother Paul, by the way, said to us. Well, he said to me to relay to you that he prefers Big Pat versus Patty St. Pat.
Oh, okay, all right. I mean, I like Patty St. Pat because that's his birthday. So, anyway, all right. Whatever you say, Paul, I got you. Big Pat. All right. All right. Whatever. All right. Let's get into plugs and get the hell out of here.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up, man. All right, we got Tommy D. Tommy D, I think, is celebrating the 12th anniversary of the Mad Donkey tonight at 36th Avenue in Astoria. He also has got Tommy Devitt's 5-Star Shopping by Tommy at 917-559-8264. Got my buddy Eugene Spot, Piazza Pizza, 914-921 in Rye, New York, 4444. Vladdy, I talked about him earlier. He's got a bistro that's very famous on News 12 out on the island, 53 Bruckner Boulevard, Vladdy E9 Bistro. Looks like Mike is doing very well down in Wilmington, North Carolina. He's got a new page up for Celtic Monkey. So if
Yeah, I just saw that. I just subscribed
you
to
know,
it.
we drove down there, Mike. So it was a long time, but like the way that I cut across, I didn't really drive in that neck of the woods down in the Carolinas. But one of these days, the next trip I make to the Carolinas, I'd like to check his spot out. It looks like a cool spot. And lastly, we got Jay Cristiano, 844-442-7334. Cardinal Financial. Use the promo code 4215. And lastly, me, DJ Chris Clash at www.chrisclash.com. Hit me up. Weddings, special events, private parties, engagement parties, communions, you name it, I do it. And with that note, we're going to put it to Big Mike, the star of the week.
All right. Once again, just my usuals. I Can Paint. Check out Jack. He's got some new stuff up, some new Marvel and DC stuff up for sale. Pat Dixon, as always, Crime Report on Compound Media, his podcast, Crime Report, and the other podcast I do with him, Notorious NYC. We should have another episode coming within the week. As for spots, here are the big ones. June 12th, 16th, 27th, I'll be at Broadway Comedy Club, both the 9 and the 11 p.m. shows. You can go to BroadwayComedyClub.com for tickets. June 1st, which is only a couple of weeks away, I'll be at the Village Idiot at the Juke Bar, the Village Idiot Comedy Show. Andrew Ginsberg, Isaac Gartenberg. They put on a great show. It'll be me and actual real headlining comedians. So if you want to come and see like real headlining comedians without paying headliner prices, come down to the Juke Bar, 196 2nd Avenue on June 1st, 8 o'clock. I will be on that show. Also, I probably have something also at the end of the month, probably out in Brooklyn at the Eastville Comedy Club. So I'm actually having a decent busy month. We hope everyone has a good week.
And summer, baby. It was 85 degrees today.
Yeah, it was hot as heck today. And we will see you when we see you. Big Pat. Take care, Big Pat. You'll always be Patty St. Pat's to me, but you can be you're back to Big Pat. So yeah, that's it. Yeah. We'll see you later.
Be good, everybody.
Bye.